Hey everyone, it's Nancy. Just in case you missed it, Jade Runestones are really expensive right now. Right now they're sitting at about 1 gold each on the trading post, and earlier today they were even sitting at 2 gold each. Today we'll talk about how to farm these Jade Runestones and how to make some gold with a really fun farm. I hope that by the time you're watching this video, this farm will still be just as profitable. Jade Runestones are required to craft End of Dragons legendaries and also to get the legendary variants. You get them by opening chests in Canva, but not every single chest guarantees runestones. However, some chests, like the ones at the end of jumping puzzles and the ones at the end of mini dungeons, do guarantee runestones. For a long time, loads of people would park lots of characters at the end of the Kaineng jumping puzzle to get loads of guaranteed Jade Runestones. But last week, ArenaNet nerfed this. You can now only open the chest once per account per day. The supply of Jade Runestones plummeted and the price skyrocketed. Fortunately, there are loads of other ways to get Jade Runestones. In the past week, I've been running a daily farm on my stream where we just run around Canva and get a bunch of these Jade Runestones. And today, I'll be showing you my farm. It is actually really fun. I usually make my goals with fractals or metas, so making goals with mini dungeons and jumping puzzles is a really nice change of pace. Let's get started. My farm starts with something lots of you are familiar with. I log into one of my alts that I have parked at the end of the Kaineng jumping puzzle. This just might have been nerfed, but you can still open it once per account per day, so that is what we do. Next, we waypoint to the Jade Gate waypoints in Echovald. You can technically do this farm in any order that you like, but this is just my personal preference. In Echovald, there are a bunch of chests hidden in the branches that guarantee Jade Runestones, so we're just gonna go and grab those. The first chest is right above the Jade Gate waypoint. If you have a sky skill, just sky skill your way up there, and if you don't, you gotta follow these zip lines. Honestly, this farm is a lot faster if you have a sky skill. When I do it on my stream, I usually put down a mesmer portal for everyone that doesn't have one. Elite mobs are guarding these chests, but right now there are a lot of people doing this, so dealing with them is usually not a problem. If you want to make this farm as low effort as possible, you can also take a bunch of alts and park them at the locations of these chests. Then you can just log into them, loot the chest, and go to your next character. For the next chest, we're gonna jump all the way down in the water. There's a chest to the south of the bridge in a little cave. Note though, you do need the Crypt Seeker achievement to be able to get this chest. If you do not have this achievement, you will get kicked out. If you're planning to do this farm every day, I highly recommend getting the Crypt Seeker achievement. Another elite is guarding this chest, but as long as you are not in a super squishy build, it shouldn't be too hard to deal with them. Doing this runs together with some friends makes all of this really easy. Now take the waypoint and get yourself to Teleri Village. Once you're there, you can rather easily sky skill your way up to another Jade Runestone, which is a little bit above the village. There is once again an elite, and if you run into anyone that needs help, make sure to help them. If you don't have a sky skill or a mesmer with a portal, you can also take this zipline route, but it does take quite a while. You can even get a little bonus chest on the way there, but that one does not guarantee a Jade Runestone. After this, it is time for our first mini dungeon. Jump down and go north of the village into this cave. Follow the path and you will encounter Lucas Vasburg. Take him down, listen to his dialogue, and take the portal to enter the mini dungeon. In this mini dungeon, you have to get to the other side of the room alive. It is pretty simple to do, especially if you have blink skills, so just get to the other side and climb up. Once you're up here, make sure to loot the Amber Runestone and then take the portal to the next room. It's the same thing, just get to the other side alive. At the end of the room, you will encounter a Veteran Runestone Keymaster. If they're not there, just wait for them to respawn. Take them down and you should get a Jade Runestone. This is not the Jade Runestone that we're farming, but it is the item that allows you to use the portal to the next room. In this room, you might be a little bit confused as to why you cannot open the chest. Just make sure you press the rune on the right and the rune on the left, and then you can loot the chest for another Jade Runestone. Now that that's done, we're gonna go get ourselves another chest, and we're gonna waypoint to Mori Village. Go north of Mori Village and sky skill your way up. The final chest is located roughly above the mastery points on your minimap. It's pretty high up, and there's once again an elite guarding it. If you don't have a sky skill, just go to the lake area next to Mori Village and go north. Take the second zipline you see and climb all the way up in the branches. From there, you can just glide to the chests. This route takes quite a while, so if you don't have a sky skill, I probably recommend parking an alt here so you don't have to do this route every single day. Now you can also decide to go north and do the super cool Valdhertz Crypts mini dungeon. I usually skip this one in my runs because it does take quite a while, but it is really cool. Once you're inside, there's a bunch of combat challenges and also some puzzles. The solution to the first puzzle is Flaming, Accurus, and then finally Mistral. For the second puzzle, put the dagger with the crane, the sword with the white tiger, the shield with the wallow, the bow with the Kirin, and the staff with the phoenix. This mini dungeon is really cool, but it is also very buggy, so that could be another reason to skip this one. Up next, I waypoint to the Frozen Sea waypoint in the south of Dragon's End and make my way to Silent Surf. Over here you can enter this grate to enter another mini dungeon. This mini dungeon is quite a lot more straightforward. It is just a bunch of combat challenges in a row. It does take quite a while, so you could once again decide to skip this one, but it's not too bad to solo as long as you have some sustain on your builds. If you're running with some friends, you can just blaze through and earn yourself another Jade Runestone. The next step of our run is the most difficult one, but also the most profitable one. We waypoint to the village waypoint in Seitung province and make our way to Zen Daijun. Once again, there is a mini dungeon in this area. Under the Zen Daijun temple, you will find a large maze. Scattered throughout the maze are these red lanterns. While you're making your way through the maze, make sure to walk into a lantern regularly. Otherwise, the darkness will get you and you will get kicked out. Inside of the maze, there are 3 totems. A red one, a blue one, and a green one. The totem locations are random every day, and each totem will give you a buff. The red totem gives you the red buff, the blue totem gives you the blue buff, and the green totem gives you the green buff. The goal of the mini dungeon is to kill 3 bosses while you have their respective buff active. So, for example, you need to kill the red boss with the red buff. If you do this for all 3 bosses, a ray of light will appear, which will teleport you into the secret loot room. In the secret loot room are 3 chests, which each give you 1 to 3 Jade Runestones. Super profitable. When I do this on my stream, I usually make sure that everybody gets the 3 buffs first before I start killing the bosses. I highly recommend bringing a friend along for this mini dungeon. You can solo the bosses, but it just kinda takes forever. I did it for this video and it took a long time. They have a lot of health. Right now, Zen Daijun is really profitable and really popular, so even if you go in there by yourself, it's usually pretty easy to find some people that can help you kill the 3 bosses. While navigating the maze, make sure to touch the lanterns regularly. There are also spooky AoEs on the ground which stun you for super long, and this can lead to you getting kicked out. Bringing a stun break or a blink skill is a pretty good move. On the Guild of Steel wiki, you will find a super useful map someone made, which is all of the possible totem spawns and all the boss locations. This map is super useful, so I highly recommend checking it out. Alright, and with that slightly tricky mini dungeon out of the way, we now waypoint back to the village waypoint and go north towards the Shrine of Reverence POI. This is the start of a jumping puzzle. At the start, make sure to grab yourself a torch, and as you do the JP, make sure to light each brazier. If you light all of them and make it to the end, that is another Jade Runestone for your collection. And that is the end of our farm. I just did a full run for this video and I got myself 14 Jade Runestones. You might get slightly more or slightly less depending on your luck. Right now, 14 Jade Runestones sell on the trading post for about 13.5 gold. Not bad for just doing some jumping puzzles and mini dungeons. You can of course also choose to save up your Jade Runestones for legendaries or legendary variants. That is what I've been doing because right now they are way too expensive on the trading post. If you do this run with a group, like I've been doing on my stream, you can kinda blaze through all of this and make this gold really quickly. I honestly think it's really fun, it's just very different from the usual fractal and meta farming. I really hope this video helped you out. If lots of us start doing this, maybe the price of Jade Runestones will go back down a little bit and hopefully I'll be able to afford some more legendaries. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you stopped by my Twitch stream. We've been doing this run basically every day and we've been getting really rich doing it. That's it for me. See you next time.